Point of View is powered by Airtel Tigo Extra. Even our bonus data doesn't expire. You the film? Dial *111# to activate now. Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Welcome to The Point of View. This is your favorite current affairs show on television. Here on The Point of View, we get the right guests. We ask them relevant questions on issues that matter to you. And tonight we're going to have a very interesting series of stories from 3 different people who have the same situation, for want of a better expression. But it's live and interactive. If you're watching on TV, send us your views on the WhatsApp number on the screen. And of course, if you're watching on social media, please feel free to join the stream. We'll be back right after this. So welcome back to The Point of View. So tonight, it's almost like 3 troubles, 1 God, as it were. The past week has been quite interesting. Started on 28th of May, actually, when PNC National Chairman was invited by the CID to come and answer questions about statements he made. He had a very interesting brush with the CID on the day he reported with some of his supporters. We'll be talking to him about his experience. A couple of days after that, the Economic Fighters League also held a vigil to commiserate with George Floyd and to raise awareness about social injustice and racial injustice. They also had a brush with the police, and their leader was arrested. He was even detained. And of course, colleague journalist Kofi Adomah had airily predicted almost 100% of what the president was going to say end of May. The police were not comfortable with that, and they called him for a conversation. So tonight we'll be hearing 3 different stories from 3 different angles. But let me give you some background. I'm going to start with Mornah and his encounter with the police. Then I'll bring you my friend Ernesto Yeboah, and then we'll end with Kofi Adomah, all live. 1 in studio, 2 via Zoom. So let's give you a quick reminder of what happened to Mornah and the build-up to that encounter with the police.
So as the crowd pours onto the road, the police also moves in with their shields to disperse them to allow for traffic to flow. Those armed with the shields have just moved onto the road itself. Now from the entrance of the headquarters onto the road itself to ensure that the crowd does not pour onto the road and also ensure a free flow of traffic. Let's speak to Director Operations Accra Command, ACP Kwesi Fori. Sir, welcome to the City Newsroom. First of all, how are you seeing the conduct of these protesters here at the headquarters?
This kind of gathering is illegal in line with the COVID-19 executive instrument, and that the police will not permit some of these illegalities. That is why we are here in our numbers, and we have only permitted the invitee, his counsel, to the CID headquarters, plus a handful of personnel. One thing is that we are in a democratic country, and people should heed to the laws of the land. What they are doing here is totally anarchy. Commuters are being burdened, to get home or to wherever they're going. And we've asked them to go to a more safer place, taking into account demonstrators on the road, what we saw in Minnesota. And we'll keep them at bay to make sure that people go to their homes.
Are you having any difficulty controlling them as they are here now?
For now, it is not above our strength. You might have noticed the police are fully in control, making sure that vehicular movement takes place. Commuters, go about their normal routes. So for now, it is not above us. But what they are doing is totally anarchy and improper.
So it looks like Bernard Mornah is finally coming out. The people are charged, chanting in jubilation and celebration of what appears to be his release from the CID headquarters. And so the police is trying to pave some way for him to come out. And that's what's happening right now. We'll try our best to engage him and all his lawyers.
Freedom. Freedom will never fall onto a people. A people might raise themselves to freedom. We shall not allow our freedoms in any form to be trampled by any person. President Nana Akufo-Addo cannot stifle the freedoms that we are granted by the Constitution. Those freedoms include the freedom to speak. And we will speak. We will dare them and will speak the truth. Because at all points in time, we must correct the ills in our society, which ills, if we don't correct, have the potential of eroding the peace and stability of our nation. And therefore, this afternoon, I have just gone through a cordial process with the police. My statement is, and I quote, that I made the statements that are contained in the 37 seconds video that they showed to me. And that I stand by those statements and I had nothing more to add. I promised you that whatever I said that occasioned the invitation, I stand by it. The Electoral Commission of Ghana must know that their actions have the potential to plunge this nation into calamity.
So that was a few days ago at the police CID headquarters. So Bernard Mornah is joining us in a red beret somewhere in the Bono region. Bernard, great to have you. He's joining us via Zoom. Hello.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. It's good to have you in studio. Let me talk to my other colleague before I come back to you. In studio, I have Ernesto Yeboah. Ernesto, good evening.
Good evening, Bernard.
Good. You are wearing the same type of hat. Is there something going on I'm missing? It's the same red. You've turned it the same way. What's going on?
I'm sure it's something that is associated with the left of center of politics, or the left, extreme left.
So you are in the CPP?
No.
Oh, okay. You are Economic Fighters League. Okay. And Bernard Mornah, you are in the PNC?
Exactly.
Okay. I just like the fact that you both worn the red hat the same way. But yours has a black star. He has a black fist.
Mm-hmm. All right. Ernesto is my kid brother. So
very good.
Ernesto, good evening.
Good. Before I bring Kofi Adomah, let me remind people of Ernesto's situation. This was a few days ago when the Economic Fighters League organized what they call a peaceful vigil at the Black Star Square area. The police didn't take kindly to this, and Ernesto found himself arrested. Let me give you a quick reminder of what happened.
It is calm and collected as it is, and it's not explosive in any way. And if that is allowed, because you are the law authority, so if that is allowed by law, then it means it is accepted.
We don't have a problem with that, but then you have to, there are certain procedures you need to follow. Are you getting it? Gathering people like this, you need to at least write. You have to observe, you have to follow what we call the Public Order Act. I hope you are aware of the fact that we have what we call Public Order Act. And if you want to have something like this, you need to write to seek for protection and other things. You can't just gather people around and then... We don't have a problem with you expressing your views.
Okay, so that was the interaction between Ernesto Yeboah's group and the police. And Ernesto is here. Now, let me take you to a few stories, just to give you some more context, and then I'll connect with the Kofi Adomah as well, who's a journalist. So the first story has to do with Ernesto. Ernesto's story was quite a bit of a drag. So initially, he was arrested. His supporters asked for his release. They marched to City FM. And I think the next day he was released. So he spent a day behind bars. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
A day behind bars. Which police station was this?
This was the Accra region police station, the district police station, opposite the Cocoa Board.
Cocoa Board. You need to speak up. So, yeah, the story says an overwhelming security presence brought Black Lives Matter vigil between the Black Star Square and Black Star Gate to a premature end on Saturday evening. One of the organizers of the vigil, Ernesto Yeboah of the EFL, was also arrested and detained at the Accra Central Police Station amid cries of injustice from many gathered. The police insisted that the vigil, which they described as a protest, was not authorized, while organizers of the vigil produced evidence indicating they notified the police in line with the Police Public Order Act. And then a member of the EFL, Ni Ayi Opari, found it ironic that the police action was happening in the shadow of the Black Star Gate, which proclaimed freedom and justice. Then he goes on to talk about Ernesto's arrest. Then later on, he was released. How long were you kept?
14 hours.
14 hours?
Yes.
Good. Now, let me just welcome Kofi Adomah before I bring you his story. Kofi, are you there? Kofi Adomah, are you there? Okay, I'm trying to connect with Kofi Adomah. Yes, Kofi is somewhere sitting. Yes. Kofi, good evening. Can you hear me? Clearly you can't. We'll connect to him. Okay, Bernard Mornah, what exactly did you say to merit the invitation by the police? Do you remember at all what you said, Bernard?
Yeah.
Bernard, what exactly did you say to merit the police invitation?
Well, I thought I was disrupted by Kofi Adomah, but let me move straight to say that it was strange that the police could rely on what I describe as the Central Regional Minister's diffusion, that the police can pick me up, because I had said that the Electoral Commission's intransigence to compile a new voters register and their inordinate desire to exclude majority of Ghanaians from the voters register, in particular, that they are going to passport holders, which include minors. I'm sure you are aware that kids have passports in this country, and the majority of people who even own Ghanaian passports travel outside and they are there. Just a few people have passports and they are still in Ghana. And also to put the Ghana card, which is a work in progress card, as source documents, and that a chunk of our society will be denied from participating in an all-important exercise, which in our opinion is frivolous and needless, but the Electoral Commission is insistent on. And that in our attempt to resist, there are some people, particularly from the ruling party, who are saying that if we put on our resistance, we will be beaten at the registration centers. And so I said that no one should tell me that they are going to beat us. We are going to beat each other at the registration centers. And if the beatings escalate, it will lead to killing each other. That by the actions and steps that the Electoral Commission is taking, this country could be plunged into a disaster. There will be chaos and confusion, which chaos will lead to beating each other, because I will not fold my arms like this. And somebody like Yeboah, who had threatened that if we go to the registration center to resist, they will beat us. So when he is slapping me, I should hold my hands so that he will slap me. I will not do that. I will beat him back. And so they will be beaten at the registration centers if the Electoral Commission insists and goes ahead with this exercise that I feel is a recipe for chaos. And therefore, I was arrested by the Ghana, I was invited by the Ghana CI. And I said that, well, I don't know why anybody will invite me on a caution that I've issued to the Electoral Commission. But I had to respond. The invitation got to my party headquarters on Thursday. And they put the reporting date on Tuesday. So I was wondering what kind of lapse they would give. Why would you give me such a time period if you think that my pronouncements were so inimical as to warrant invitation, then it should be instantaneous. So on the Thursday, in order that you don't create public apprehension, you would want to invite me and say, come to the police station on Thursday. But Thursday passed, Friday passed, Saturday passed, Sunday passed, Monday passed. And then it has to be Tuesday, for which I have to respond. At the other side of it was that they chose that they would leak the letter inviting me to the media. So even before I could be called by my secretary at the office that a letter of that nature had come, media houses had started calling me that why the police had invited me. So you want to understand the wisdom behind the police leaking something that was supposed to be for me. Who is the recipient? I had not received that, and they decided to publicize it. So I felt very, very sad about the situation. I was eager to meet with the police and to reinforce the statement that I made, that if the Electoral Commission does not desist from the manner in which it wants to conduct this voter registration, and because first, it's needless. Second, that they are going to denationalize a number of people. And indeed, if you read Article 6 of the 1992 Constitution, Article 6 is defining who a citizen of Ghana is. And that definition does not include source document like Ghana passport or Ghana card. If you go to Article 42, Article 42 says that if you are a Ghanaian of 18 years of age and you are of sound mind, you have the right to vote and you are entitled to be registered as a voter. If you go to Article 46, which entitles the Electoral Commission to be independent, it says that except some conditions, and those conditions include the discrimination that is contained in Article 17 of the Constitution. It also includes Article 42 of the Constitution, and above all, it includes the citizenship to be a citizen of Ghana as contained in Article 6 of the Constitution. So obviously, I have not deviated. All that I said was that let us take steps in order that we can continue to promote peace within our country. Okay. And if that meant that I should be invited in the manner they did, I had no equivocation whatsoever to be with the police. And indeed, when I went to the police, I restated the position. Well, they played a 37 seconds video to me. And after that, they asked me whether I was the one in the video. I said, yes, I am the one in the video. And the comments that were made in the video, or the comments attributed, are certainly my words. And okay. So I stand by it.
So Bernard, were you cautioned or were you charged?
Come again?
When you were invited, were you cautioned during the interrogation? Were you charged, or this was just a clarification they wanted from you?
Well, they put a statement that I should write my statement to it, and as soon as I saw what they said, I protested, but my lawyer said that that is what they decided to write. And the statement was that offensive conduct conducive for the breach of peace. And I said, no, I cannot write my statement following what you are putting across. My conduct was defensive conduct for the promotion of peace. And therefore, what you are putting there does not match what I have said. And you are trying to say that I was doing something that was inimical and offensive to the nation. I was doing something in defense of the Constitution of Ghana, because you do know that voting is a fundamental human right. And that if that right is denied you, it amounts to suppression of the Constitution. And so what I was telling the Electoral Commission is that don't deny anybody the right to vote, because it is a fundamental human right. And that don't also use any other subterfuge that will lead to the exclusion of anybody, particularly when the Ghana card is a work-in-progress document, when we do know that passport, only limited people have it. So why would the police say that my conduct was offensive, conducive for the breach of peace? So I told them that no, my conduct was defensive for the promotion of peace. And then they gave me the chassis, or what they call the statement form to write. And I remember clearly that my statement was that I made the statements contained in the 37 seconds video that has just been played to me. And I have not done anything wrong, and I have nothing more to add. And that was the end of my statement. And the police had to bring in what they describe as an independent witness, who then signed their portion. And then I was granted bail. My Greater Accra Regional Chairman, Balame Kankang, was on hand to come and grant me a bail.
So Bernard, actually, they have charged you with offensive conduct conducive to the breach of peace. That's what they've charged you with.
That is what they put on the statement. Despite my protest, I had to write my statement where I said that I made the comments contained in the 37 seconds video and that I have not done anything wrong and that I have nothing more to add.
So did they give you a date to come back?
Well, they told me that I should report every 2 weeks at the CID headquarters. I pointed out to them that I am a political figure. Don't forget, I'm also a chief of the young people of the mobile land, and that I will be running a constituency as well. And so I will not always be in Accra, and I cannot cut my activities and itinerary in order to report always at the the CID headquarters. They granted that I could report in any regional capital or to any regional command. I can assure you that on the 14th, I will be in the Upper West region. And on the 16th, I'll be in the Northern region. So I may choose to report at the Northern region, or I go back to the Upper West region and report, because those are the two regions that I'll be vacillating within that period.
Pause there. I'll come back to you on the incidents that happened before you got to the CID with the supporters, but hold on there. Let me come to Ernesto. So yours is a bit confusing to me because it was reported as a vigil, yet you were arrested. Can you narrate? What's your own narration of what happened?
Well, on 31st of May, the leadership of the Economic Fighters League decided that we had to hold a vigil in solidarity with our brother George Floyd, and indeed all black people across the world. It was on City that I learned that Africans or black people had been thrown out of their rooms in China. So at the base of the racism, beyond economy and all of that, is also disrespect. And so we felt that there was a need for Africans in Ghana and for the independence arch and for what it means to black people, that we come together and make that statement to the world, that never again should black people ever be disrespected, and that we make a promise to ourselves that from now onwards, black lives would matter. Here in this country, you have young people who have no jobs, many young people. MPP has come to power, NDC has come, MPP has come back, and all of that. No jobs. That is a statement to the youth that your life doesn't matter. In this country, you have a situation where you almost have to pay bribe in order to survive. You pay bribe to be on the roads, bribe to get a bed in the hospital, bribe to put your children in schools, bribe to do almost everything in this country. And we are saying that the system has its knee on our neck and that we cannot breathe.
Just like George Floyd.
Just like George Floyd. I mean, we can go into the examples of the shootings of police.
So that's fair. So your program was not just about George Floyd, it was about injustice to black people everywhere.
Absolutely.
Great. So what process did you go through? Because it was a public event, right?
Absolutely. Now, two very important legislations was at the center of our planning. The first being the Public Order Act, and the second being the EI 64. And so on the basis of that, we scripted our notice of vigil to the Ghana police, addressed to the IGP through the regional police commander. And then we also copied the Minister of Interior and the Minister of Foreign Affairs. This was on the 1st of June. The event was supposed to be held on the 6th of June. So that was more than the 5-day clear notice that we needed to...
So this was notice of vigil?
Notice of vigil. And this is not the first time we have organized a program at that space. This is about the 5th time. And in our interaction with the police, or the relationship we have with the police, is such that sometimes after sending the notice, they'll call us and have a meeting with us, either to reschedule our time or things like that. Other times, they wouldn't call us. The program or the event happens, and then we see them there to offer protection, as it were. So this time around, when we sent it and didn't hear from them, it was not abnormal.
But did you confirm they had received it?
Oh, yes. I took the letter myself.
To the police headquarters?
To the police headquarters. To the police headquarters. So, it came as a very big surprise to us when we were speaking to, is it the Director of Operations at the National Security? And he said he hasn't been informed about that and wanted to find out whether we actually issued that notice to the police. And we showed, the evidence of that.
But what you were doing, I have a video where somebody was announcing through a mic or a megaphone and people were chanting and there were placards. Was that a vigil or... because I think the police was saying this was a demonstration, not a vigil, because you had posters and things. So is there a difference between the two?
Well, a vigil is just an expression of a feeling. Why? When you go to the church and you see people screaming, and are they being violent? Are they demonstrating? Certainly not. They are praying. They are speaking from the bottom of their heart. And in fact, even before the event itself, we put out the, the outline. As in, we're going to project certain images on the Independent Arch. We're going to play some music in the background. There was going to be some moments of reflection, and then a number of speakers would, say something that can edify the black soul.
And this was this known to the police?
All of this.
As in, your letter to the police included the program?
Our letter to the police included everything that we're going to do in that space.
I see. So why were you arrested?
Now, the national security, the police, and then the military were there, and they were saying that the vigil cannot happen. And we reminded them that, do you know that what you are doing is a breach of our fundamental human rights, given that we have followed due process? And all they kept saying back to us was that order from above says they should come and disrupt the program. In fact, some of them went out of their way to say that we sympathize, we understand what you guys are doing, but order from above says, Bernard, we cannot live in a society where order from above holds sway over the Constitution of the Republic of the country.
How did they break up the vigil? Did they advise you to stop, or they physically scattered the vigil?
Well, I realized that these are officers who are not ready to uphold the Constitution. I told them that you don't respond to order from above. You respond to the Constitution. The Constitution has given us some rights, and these are it. We sent the letter to you, and all you are telling us is order from above. So once I realized that they wouldn't be reasonable with us, and they were asking that I come with them to the station, I joined them.
So they arrested you?
Yes, they arrested me.
Were you physically beaten?
Well, I was manhandled, in the beginning.
By who?
By all the officers. You saw it in the video.
Manhandled how?
Manhandled by the way I was, held and all of that. But
as in,
that's
you were forcibly taken?
Forcibly taken.
You were not escorted to work. You were
forcibly taken.
Against your will?
Well, against my will. But I also had to comply because I knew that if I did not make it easy for them to take me, then they would go ahead and disrupt the vigil as it was.
Were they armed?
Yes, they were armed.
The police or the soldiers?
The police and the soldiers.
What were they holding?
guns.
What type of guns?
Well, I wouldn't know, but what I saw was AK-47-like type of, guns. It was as if they were on a war zone.
How many were they?
They should number about 20 or 30.
20 or 30?
Yeah.
Why were you the only person taken?
Well, because they felt that being the leader of the Economic Fighters League and our association with, the Vigil, they thought that once they took me away, and that was a mistake they did, because Economic Fighters League is not Ernesto Yeboah. With or without Ernesto Yeboah, the movement will continue. And that is why when they took me off the space, the vigil continued.
How long did the vigil continue when you were taken away? Would you know?
Well, I wouldn't know. But when I came back and watched the videos, I was very impressed with the way fighters conducted themselves with utmost dignity and restraint.
What type of people were in the vigil?
Well, some were mothers carrying their babies. Some had come with their families. These are respected individuals in our society. Africans and African Americans, and even some Europeans, whites, I saw.
Okay, I'll pause with you. Let me come to Kofi. Kofi, thank you for your patience. Kofi Adomah, I want to show what you said before I talk to you, because I don't know whether it was lotto numbers you were predicting, but I'm told that you were so accurate that the police were not too happy where you were getting information. So let's just show what Kofi Adomah Onwanweni. He is the same guy who does Kofi TV. That's Kofi. I want to show your video first. So just stay there. Just give me a second. Show me what Kofi said about the president's announcement. Then I'll talk to him.
I was for the tenant said, the Ahenimo said this coming Sunday. Nanado Danko Kufado ebe address the nation. Ya saw form so far information I pick and I'm able to be at the Number one is Nanado 98% likely say Obibi churches no ama and sorry ne mosque atimi assign aquacokson. Baby say border no de enya de Nanado ebibi. Social gathering so Nanado likely 98% to say obey increase from the current 25 persons and I say nipa 25 say betumi ahia no e de akọ nipa 50 say afei ogidi say 50 no nipa betumi akọ sorry eyi na person oya betumi aye kakra ene other social gatherings no bia bas no so mbebie nti eno so ye another possible tenor ebesi school no manfo bisa ho asem school no enye likely say na do bebie schools this Sunday, but a week or two after no based on said the easy tension when ebeko no it is anticipated say obebie kwan no ama final year students akwakotre omo ensohwe borders no will remain closed per the information ya peke no asofo no per collection age per the information ya peke no kire say collection no na nado say yemfa collection board no nsi asore dan na no enti uwure man wato collection ana say uwie na wo pia odo kwense no gumu a mpacho ya monto paper na eno nso de atom na ukọ enti na eho asem eno no me gather information no me be better money, but one Nanado is going to ease social gathering laws no from 25 to 50 between Asia with protocols ahodo ni na so say be ya adwuma reason no ba ko ene say omanfo yare but omanfo so tiapo. So the justification will be say we've had numbers our COVID-19 be and we've had numbers our recover. Allow Ghanaians to live their life. This is going to be the justification, and so far, yeah, because ABC. Yeah, so from say changes be about. I'll make sure say you're the better when him and have a good day.
Kofi Adomah, were you in bed or where were you? Because where was that?
I was just in my chair. I was just sitting in the sofa chair, just thinking aloud.
Just thinking, what time was this? The president spoke on Sunday night. So when did you make this recording?
Yeah, that was on Thursday. I did the recording on Thursday.
Oh, Thursday?
Yes.
That's 3 clear days before the president spoke?
Sure.
Wow. And you aired it on Thursday as well, or you aired it late? When was this put on your YouTube page?
On Friday.
Friday. Was this for your employer Angel TV or for your Kofi TV?
This was for Kofi TV.
I see. So what did the police, how did you get invitation? Was it a letter they wrote to you or they called you? How did you know the police had invited you?
Thank you, Bernard. Listening to your 2 panel members, I would say mine, I think, is quite friendly because mine was on phone. I went, I was asked some questions, and then I was let to go. I was not asked to write a statement, or there was nothing like a caution. I was asked a few questions. In fact, the video was played to me as well, and asked some few questions, and after that, I was let to go.
When did they call you?
They called me, I think, on the Wednesday. That was after the Sunday that the president had given the address. On Wednesday afternoon, was it? I think Tuesday afternoon. That was when the call came that I was needed to answer some few questions. The timing was not so favorable, so I pleaded that I be given some time and that I will be available the next day, which they obliged. So I got ready the next day. The next day, before I set off from the office, I had a call to find out if I was on my way. Because I told them I will be available after 12, after reading the news. So after the news, I went together with the general manager of Angel FM to the CID office.
Who called you on the phone? Who called you? Do you know the person's name?
Yes, on the phone, the call came from DSP Julian Norway.
Do you remember what she said to you?
She called and said, Kofi, this is official. You are needed at the CID head office. And I asked, what was it? They said, it was in connection with the video I did. And I said, well, the video, I didn't see anything wrong with it. But she insisted that I come. So, but that was when I told her, unfortunately, it would be difficult because of the timing. I was also getting ready to go and read my news. So if it wasn't that immediate, if they could give me the next day to come and answer the questions that they wanted answered. So that was how it. So it was mainly a phone call invite.
Did you discuss this with the legal team of Angel before you went?
I didn't seriously. I didn't see it that way. It was after I went that a few friends of mine who are in the legal fraternity called, and they said what I did was wrong because you can't just assume that it was friendly and so it was going to be friendly, and that CID can invite you in a way that you find so friendly, but you get there and it could turn either way. So I remember some select a lot of clients too. So he called and was like, now when your problem now, friend, you always call me and refer people to me. Why? Green goal. It wasn't necessary. You shouldn't have gone. And I said, well, I didn't see it as a problem because I felt they needed some questions answered them.
I see. But upon retrospect, you realized what you did was risky because they hadn't written to you.
Come again?
I'm saying that in retrospect, you admit that going without an official invitation in writing may have been a risky thing you did.
Yes, after speaking to the lawyers, I'm not that survey when it comes to the law. So I just took it as a normal invitation. But after taking me through, I think I should have gone with a lawyer, yes.
Oh, so you went alone?
I went with the general manager, Kofi Dixon. So I didn't go with a lawyer at all. Even I was ready to go alone. But
you are very brave.
I wonder if I'll do that again.
Is this the first time you've been questioned by the police over your work as a journalist?
No, I remember hosting the morning show where the late Alain Baturi and Honorable Kennedy Japan had some exchange of words, and some of the words were not so good. So I was invited to answer some questions as well. So this was, I would say, this is my second time of having such an invitation.
Kofi, stay on the line. Thank you. Your line is not that good, but I appreciate your time. Stay there. I'll come back to you. I'm going to take a short break. When I come back, I'm going to talk about jungle warfare, because Bernard Mornah says when he got to the police CID, the police were ready for jungle warfare. They were dressed like they were. I'm going to interrogate. I'm going to show you some of the jungle warfare videos. And then Ernesto is still here. We'll try and clarify a few more things about his, because apparently this is not the first time Ernesto has been arrested. Indeed, last year, he was in Parliament. He said they should drop the chamber. They judged him as well. They weren't happy with him. So it looks like he's always in trouble. We'll do that as well. And I have some of your messages. This is the point of view. Don't go away.
Extra data, extra minutes, and extra unlimited calls. Not just that, even our extra data doesn't expire. You fill up, simply dial *111# to bundle now.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Businesses are evolving with the changing times, and the City Business Festival is doing the same. In the month of June, the City Business Festival goes digital. City TV, in collaboration with Absa Bank, will give SMEs the opportunity to reboot their businesses with expert forums, discussion platforms, and interactive Zoom sessions. There will be a lesson for every business. Join the virtual business forums every Tuesday in June at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and gain the knowledge you need to kickstart your business. Explore new ways of engaging your customers with the e-commerce forum on Tuesday, the 9th of June at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Get tips from the Agribusiness Forum on how to create another career in agribusiness on Tuesday, the 16th of June 2020 at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And get all the industry knowledge with the Trade Forum on the topic, Will Export Trade Be the Same Again? On the 23rd of June 2020 at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Revamp your business and work environment this June with the virtual business forums only on City TV every Tuesday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. To be interactive and ask questions pertinent to your business, join in the forum via Zoom. To participate via Zoom, register by calling 0205-973-973. That's 0205-973-973. City Business Festival is powered by City TV and Absa Bank with support from the Ghana Investments and Promotion Center.
Welcome back to The Point of View. My personal moniker for today's show is 3 troubles, 1 God. So you have Bernard Mornah, Ernesto, Yeboah, and Kofi Adomah all had brushes with the police. We call it close encounters of the CID kind. That's the caption for the show. Let me go back to Bernard Mornah, who was invited to the police CID. His invitation was on a Thursday, but he was to report on a Tuesday. And he somehow got there with a lot of supporters. So let me go back to Bernard. Bernard, so how come you went with all those people why did you go with all those people to the police CID headquarters?
Well, let me say that, like Ernesto Yeboah, I'm sure that you recall when I did the Ghana-Togo Solidarity rally at Kawukudi, I was picked in a Rambo style, thrown in the bucket of a pickup like a cow, and paraded through the opposite side of the road with sirens all the way to the Nima police station.
Oh, Lord.
And up to date, they are not able to tell me what crime I have committed. I have since then taken the IGP and the police to court. The court has virtually delayed in making a pronouncement. Judgment was supposed to have been done in 2018. 2019 has passed. 2020 is here, and anytime we get there, they are not able to pronounce judgments. It means that the court is in cahoots with the police in order that they will be able to frustrate and more or less continue to trample upon people's human rights. On this occasion, when the police invited me, I had indicated that I have a residence in Osu and that I will be walking all the way from my residence at Osu, which is near the Akwaje Park, to the police headquarters. Many members of the Interparty Resistance Against the New Voters Register thought that since I had made the said pronouncements on their platform, which was at a press conference, they owed it a duty to join with me in solidarity for the place. I was shocked when apparently many people had already gathered at the police headquarters. And so whilst I was working with a few people from Akwaje through Dankwa Circle to the police headquarters, I saw a lot more people coming from the police headquarters direction to come and more or less join me for the protest. And this should tell you that many more people are unhappy about the manner in which our police has virtually turned into an MPP police, and that they continue to invite other members of our society, or they will arrest people whom they feel are not speaking what the government wants. We will speak freedom. We will speak because it is our duty to speak for the right things to be done in our society. We cannot keep quiet to allow any group of persons or institution to more or less tarnish the or lead our nation astray so that we will have difficulties in our democracy. And so I did not do any mobilization whatsoever. These were people who decided on their own free will to come and solidarize with me. And I'm grateful that the actions and steps that I have taken, many more people want to ensure that we are able to.
In your interview with Sanda Umaru on Eyewitness News, you said that had it not been for your peaceful nature, we would be discussing something else. Why did you say that? What actually happened when you got there?
Just, if you are coming from Dankwa Circle, as soon as you get to the fire service end of the road, there is a traffic light there. And at the police side, just if you cross, you can see that if you turn, you'll be going through the UNDP through to cantonment.
Yes.
I saw that the police suddenly had geared up. They were in their riot gears. They were coming with their armored cars, water tankers, and with their guns. And so I saw many journalists, including City FM reporters, who decided to run towards the direction. I was in the middle of the people I was working with. So when I raised my head, I noticed that the police were coming in full force. Mm-hmm. So I jumped out from the middle and went in ahead of the team and started shouting that everybody should stop. And many were like, we should go into the police. I said, why? I was the only one who was working with a walking stick. And you understand, I'm a chief as well. So I'm working with a walking stick. Every other person, you were working maybe with your nose masks or face masks. So why would you go into a police that were ready to shoot you? They were rioting. They had covered themselves with their shields and they were marching forward. So I had to stop and say that if indeed you came for me, you will not go there. It was after my persistence that most of them stopped. So I stopped and I said, I'm not going. I'm staying here. If the police want, they should search for them and kill us, but I will not go into them. So if I didn't caution the people, and the people were allowed to also move in the manner they were going, I'm sure that we'll be talking a different story today. Why would police just come and apprehend peaceful persons who were moving We were without any guns. They were just accompanying me to the police headquarters. Wisdom would have required that if you thought that you didn't need all that numbers to go with me to the CID headquarters, you would have come forward, step forward, one policeman or so, either in plain uniform or whatever, to come and talk to those who were leading me there. But the manner in which they came, but for my timely intervention, I'm sure that by now, if we had run into the police, they will not stop. They will be throwing their batons on us, and in the end, who says that they will not have even killed one of us?
Wow! So it was that serious.
I'm sure that the video will clearly tell you what transpired at that place. And many were like, Bernard, you should have allowed us to go. I just did not want, because the enterprise that I am embarked in is to ensure that we are able to ensure peace.
Okay.
To ensure that our electoral processes are not bastardized and that we are able to safeguard our democracy. Why would I lead any group of people into violence? And Bernard, you know me from time immemorial, that I'm not a violent person. I will speak as hot as I want to speak, because I think that justice will not prevail if we keep quiet. And so I am fighting for the right things to be done. But what the police did could have led us into calamity.
Fair enough. Thank you. Let me do something. I want to take a short break because I want to show you a clip from the vigil, which I think is important for the discussion. So I'll take a quick break and do that. And I'll come to Kofi to wrap up. This is still the point of view. Don't go away.
COVID-19 has changed the world. But despite the challenges we face, this thing's done. Your Africanacity inspires us.
So, thank you. This is still the point of view. I'm here with Ernesto Yeboah. I have Kofi Adomah Wanweni on Zoom. I also have Bernard Mornah on Zoom. I wanted to show you a quick clip of Ernesto's vigil, but I don't seem to have it ready. So, let's just wrap this up. When you were in police detention, what did they do? Did you write a statement? What happened there?
Bernard, I sat 14 hours. Throughout the night to the morning, and even the police officers on duty did not know why I had been brought there.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you.
You sat for 14 hours?
14 hours. I didn't sleep.
In a cell?
Yes.
Alone?
No.
With other people?
Colleagues and all of that. I mean, we sat, but I was...
Is this counterback or cell?
Counterback. But the counterback...
Were you in handcuffs?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
And I must also say the police officers, they tried as much as possible not to make things very difficult for me.
So they just say, you sit down and wait?
Sit down. They actually asked me, oh, you can lie down, but I sat down
for 14
hours. Just waiting.
Nobody questioned you?
Nobody questioned.
No statement written?
No statement written. Nothing.
So how did they release you? What happened?
So it was in the morning that charges were finally pressed. And the charges were that one, I did not notify the police, which is a lie. And two, the EI-64 was breached, which is also false. Because at the location or the venue, before anybody entered the space, you were hand sanitized. Our ushers were there to do that. And if you came without a mask, a face mask, you would be given one.
Were you more than 100?
No, we were just about 60 or
You counted the people, you know the people who were there?
Yes, we knew who and who were coming. We have our list. And so it was a well-organized event, and we knew the significance of that event to the rest of the world or the black community all over.
So you've been charged with what?
So I've been charged with, on these 2 counts. Tomorrow morning at 8:30, I'll be in court, and my lawyers will be there with me to begin the case.
Do you think what you did has been worth it?
Absolutely. I have no regret, because we did nothing wrong. All we did was to follow the laid down procedure. And it is not new to us. It is something we have been doing. If there is any dishonesty that we have been pointing at, it is what you are seeing right now, with the police, the state, all coming together to ensure that they clamp down on good men and women in this country. This is not an Ernesto Yeboah case versus the state. It is the people versus the system.
Okay, let me read a few comments and Kofi, thank you for staying. Good evening, Bernard. All these clandestine attempts by a government that claims to respect the rule of law now going exact opposite, gagging people for their least comment. This is Jones in La. Alhaji Hamza says, Bernard, gradually Ghana is returning to the days of culture of silence, which is not good for this country. We are told the president we should not forget people and lay down their lives for their freedom. I don't know if I'm reading this right. But I think the Ghana police is becoming a dent on our democracy. This, if not checked immediately, could erode further our gains as citizens. This is Henry Nimo from Ada Mudan. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes a duty. This is Jibril from Yendi. Good evening, sir. This is Peter from Accra. Can you arrest somebody without a reason? More comments. Duke Mevi from Tema. Journalists are going to exile. Citizens are arrested and brutalized for protesting. And the weakest among us, the sycophants, praising tyranny to their own detriment. Free speech went out when Akufo-Addo came in. A few more comments are there, but let me come to Kofi. Kofi, where did you get the name Owanweni from? Because you got everything correct in that your Thursday video, except the 50. You said the numbers will increase to 50, increase to 100. So you got a ditto. You must be a soothsayer.
Yes, I would say I got almost everything right. Probably that is why I was invited for the questioning. But that was, as I said earlier, I was just thinking aloud, putting one or two together, looking at the way people were getting back on their feet after again.
Hello? Kofi, your line is not friendly. I don't know if he's still there. Kofi, are you there? Kofi, are you there?
Yes, Bernard, I'm here.
Were they trying to find out whether somebody had leaked the information to you? Is that
yes,
what they...
I think that was the line of the question. I think they wanted to know my source as to where I got the information from.
But you
that is what
but what you did, was it your analysis you were doing, or you were putting out information you had?
Bernard, they were predictions.
They were predictions. Then I'll come back to you for election 2020. If you are this good with predictions, then it means you know who will win the election. Anyway, keep up the good work. Thank you for talking to us. Keep up the good work. I appreciate your work. Kofi, thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Bernard Mornah, thank you for your time. I need your red beret, if I can get one, because I like the left more than the right. So can I get one?
I can assure you, I will give you one tomorrow. At what time do you want it? Do you want it with a star, or you want it?
No, but my head is smaller, so you need to tune it. You know, you and Ernesto, your big heads are bigger than mine, so you need to tailor it for me.
It's not only our heads that are bigger than you, Bernard. We are bigger than you.
So I want my red beret. But thank you, Bernard. Stay safe wherever you are. And Ernesto, great stuff. So tomorrow, journalists can come to court with you. What court is this?
Absolutely. This is Circuit Court 10.
Circuit Court 10.
Circuit Court 10.
Okay. I'm sure the media will be allowed to cover. Thank you. We all solidarize with George Floyd. And we agree with Martin Luther King that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And on that note, a big thank you to my guest, Kofi Adomah, a journalist, Bernard Mornah, a politician, and Ernesto Yeboah, who I like to call a rebel without a cause. But he's the leader of the Economic Fighters League. My name is Bernard Avle. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you very much for staying with us on City TV. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Point of View is powered by Airtel Tigo Extra. Even our bonus data doesn't expire. You the film? Dial *111# to activate now. Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.